Hey y'all, welcome to Freedom Makers. I'm Amanda, and today I'm going to show you guys how I make refried beans. I'm making a huge batch today so that I can put some in quart bags in the freezer. This is great for extra sides. One night I'm making enchiladas or something like that. Or you can use this to make bean dip, which I'm also going to show you tomorrow. So you don't want to miss that. Come back tomorrow to see that. But today I am making these by hand. I have a big pot. I've simply poured my beans in there with some water. I've had them simmering all day. These beans have cooked until they are tender, and most of the liquid has been absorbed. So I've been adding liquid all day, but they have also soaked up most of that, so there's not much in the pan. In a moment I'm going to take my potato masher and I'm going to mash these up, and then I'm going to show you what seasonings I put in these. In today's recipe I'm going to be using a drop of doTERRA's cilantro oil. This time of year we don't have any cilantro growing in the garden, and I don't want to have to go to the store to get some. If I did get the organic bundle of cilantro at my local grocer, it would cost me between 75 cents and $1.20 or so. And then I'd have to come home and chop it. So instead, I'm using one drop, and that is it, for 14 cents. So one drop is going to cost about 14 cents. It will flavor perfectly my 8-quart stock pot full of beans. So in that pot is probably 6 to 7 quarts of cooked pintos, and that one drop for 14 cents is going to flavor it perfectly. So this is a great way to save money if you are using oils in your cooking instead, but you can do either in this recipe. I'm also going to be seasoning this with some garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, and salt and pepper. So let's get started. This is the consistency of my beans in my big stock pot here. And you can see they are broken down pretty good anyway. They're very soft, and there's very little liquid in here. So now I am just going to take my potato masher and start mashing these. This takes a little bit of time. You could also throw this in a food processor if you want, but I'm just going to do it this way. It doesn't take too long. And then I'll bring you guys back to put in some seasoning. Alright friends, this is the consistency I ended up with. Lovely. Now, in authentic refried beans, you would put some kind of lard or something in this. Sometimes I put coconut oil in it, but when it's this consistency, I really don't feel the need to put anything else in it, which is fine. You could do whatever you like. So I want to show you guys the consistency here. It's pretty thick, and you can probably tell that you can see hunks of bean in here. This is not smooth like it would be out of a can. A store-bought can is going to be much smoother than this, but I feel like this is more authentic feeling. So I have cut the heat. It's still just steaming because it's very hot. But I'm going to go ahead and put in my seasonings. Now, I'm not a good measurer, but I'm going to throw in some garlic powder. All of this is to taste. So these are garlic powder granules. I did not make my own this year like I have in the past. And you can add more or less according to your taste. And you may want to make it a few times. This is onion powder that I'm putting in now. And if there's not enough of something, you know, it's always best to err on the side of too little than too much, because you can add later. This is the cumin. Next I'm going to put in some sea salt. I did not salt these beans whatsoever, so I'm going to be a little more generous than if these had been cooked previously with salt. And then some freshly ground pepper. And then we have the before mentioned one single drop of cilantro oil. I want to be careful not to get two, because I've done that before and it is too much, believe it or not. It's very potent to use the oils of a plant, and it will definitely be too much. I also use the basil oil and oregano oil in spaghetti sauce, and an entire drop of oregano is too much in this size pot. So for 8 quarts of spaghetti sauce, I just dip a toothpick in my oregano oil and swirl it in my sauce, otherwise it's too much. Once this is stirred in really well, I'm going to give it a taste, modify any seasoning that I need to, and then we're going to let this cool off so I can bag it up. Alright y'all, I just bagged up these 6 quart-size bags of refried beans. I'm going to put these in the freezer flat like this to solidify or to freeze thoroughly, and then I'll stack them up. These are going to be great as just random sides with some Mexican food, or you know, just to put in things like a casserole. All sorts of ways you can utilize this. I also kept out enough to make this beautiful warm Texas bean dip. If you want to see how I made this, come back tomorrow and I will show you how. And if you would like to learn more about how you can use essential oils in your cooking, be sure and send me an email, or you can sign up for my mailing list, which is in the description box below as well. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for stopping by. Bye guys.